normal, just being you, just being you, just being you, and just figuring out the life you want to live and allowing that to bring you peace and joy and allowing that to take as little time or as much time as it needs to. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Goode Soil. Thank you for tuning in and for continuing to support this channel. I really appreciate it. If you've been following for a while, you know that I usually answer an audience question and give advice and offer feedback. But occasionally I go off script a little bit and I sort of talk about what's on my heart, what's on my mind, what I've been thinking about throughout the week. And today's topic is really, it's about the pursuit of normal. That's what I'm calling it. I think we've all seen the Will Smith movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, and just his crazy, chaotic journey toward some semblance of happiness, some semblance of stability, and the achievement of his big, lofty dreams. And in that, I wanted to just talk about this pursuit of normal and how it's just been something that's really been on my mind lately, and I think it's been a theme in my life, in the lives of some people around me, of just this idea that it's okay to be normal. It's okay to just be normal. Like, there's nothing wrong with being normal. There's nothing wrong with having a normal job and living a normal life and, meeting our needs and not feeling like we have to excel and crush things and break glass ceilings and have multi-million-dollar companies and take territory and all of these things. I just have felt very overwhelmed a lot of my life with this idea that I have to be this extraordinary human. I have to excel. I have to be so good at what I do. I have to work 10 times harder, and I have to, meet all my dreams and be who I say I'm going to be and be this lofty person. And I think in recent years and it's just been clear to me that I want to go a different way, that the pursuit of happiness for me has really been this idea of, and I had a video about this, of maybe slowing down a bit more instead of ramping up and always hustling and killing myself for my dreams and killing myself to be seen and noticed and all of these things that I think I need to feel good and accepted and validated. And the more that I kind of grow up and the more that I kind of heal through some of the traumas that have, made me believe that I'm not enough and that I'm not worthy and that I have to give in order to receive and that I have to be this perfect pillar of perfection and poise and grace all the time in order to be loved and accepted and again validated. Like, the more I pursued that in the past, the more I realized that I was exhausted. I didn't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do that anymore. And I've gotten to a point where I've reevaluated what is it that I need, not so much what is it that I want all the time, because sometimes what we want and what we need really don't align, and we think we want these things, but when we get them, they don't really fulfill us and they don't really scratch the itch like we thought they would, and they don't really meet the needs that we think we have. So I've really sort of flipped and reprioritized my wants and my needs. And I've really looked at my life and asked myself, like, am I meeting my core needs? Am I meeting my need for safety? Am I meeting my need for, strong relationships with good-hearted people who I can trust? Am I, making enough money to feed myself and to take care of myself? Am I being a good friend? Like, am I, filling up my creative well? Am I expressing myself the way I want to need to express myself, not want? Am I being the version of myself that I need to be in order to have peace and joy and all the things that truly are important to me? And I think I've neglected those things that are truly important to me in this pursuit of excellence and in this pursuit of perfection and in this pursuit of being extraordinary. And I think we all feel that sometimes, especially with social media and especially in this day and age where we have influencers and we have everyone is an entrepreneur and everyone is building these brands and these businesses and taking territory, and all the messages that we hear in our churches and from our pastors and our ministries are really about, taking territory. God wants us to build his kingdom. And I'm not saying that that's not true. And I'm not saying that God doesn't want us to take territory and that there isn't territory with our names on it. That's not what I mean. But I think sometimes we get so locked into this productivity cycle, into this conquering cycle, into this claiming cycle, into this everything needs to be manifested cycle, that we forget that normal exists. And we forget that there are so many people in the world living normal lives, beautiful, rich, normal lives where they don't feel like they have to, be perfect and excel and be extraordinary in order to be joyful and peaceful. And so I have really just been thinking a lot about my life and reflecting on my needs versus my wants, and how they've been for a very long time not aligned, how I've wanted these things at the expense of what I truly need as Brittany at my core. I've sort of been delusional about what I need because I've been in such a tunnel vision pursuit of what I want. And I'm not saying that any of us have to sacrifice our dreams, or that our wants and needs can't align, or that sometimes it takes time for our wants and needs to align. But I do think that there's a stigma around this idea of normalcy, around this idea of taking things day by day, around this idea of just, wanting to have a stable career, wanting to have, enough finances in the bank, wanting to have, space to be creative, but also space to be practical, wanting to, not have a big mansion, but maybe a nice little cottage somewhere, or maybe, you don't want to work 70 hours a week, and you want to just, find a place for balance and find a way to live a balanced life. Like, I think sometimes we pursue this excellence and we forget that it's possible to pursue joy. It's possible to pursue peace. It's possible to pursue safety and just this semblance of symbiosis, or like harmony. And I've really, just had to check myself and ask myself, why have I been in this like sort of rat race of needing to be excellent all the time, and needing to prove myself all the time, and needing to excel. And it's just so many areas of my life. Growing up, I had very successful parents, and it was so wonderful looking up to them and seeing how hard they work and how hard they worked, and how those fruits were really beautiful, and how I benefited from those fruits. And it sort of implanted this thing of like, okay, well, I need my life to look like their life. I need my life to be as excellent. I need my life to be, on this level where all the fruit around me is so rich and beautiful and externally pleasing. We had the house, we had the cars, we had the nice clothes, like everything looked good. And then going to a school where it was predominantly white and I was Black, again, you had to work harder, but you were also a unicorn, and you also, had to be excellent in order to be taken seriously. You had to be excellent in order not to get lost in the shuffle. You were this sort of you were invisible if you weren't excellent. And if you weren't excellent, then you were just a stereotype. If you weren't excellent, you were another statistic. If you weren't excellent, you were just another Black person. And so there was this level of striving there. And then you get into the workforce as a Black woman or a Black man or person of color or whatever. And there's another level of excellence for the same reasons of, okay, now I need to make sure I look a certain way. Now I need to make sure I'm speaking a certain way to be taken seriously and to be seen as professional, especially in the entertainment industry. I need to, be a hustler. I need to be hungry and grinding and making sure that my hand's raised and that I'm always speaking up and that I'm, the one who is getting the attention of everyone. It can be this cycle of just this striving for perfection and excellence. And there's nothing wrong with things being excellent, with you doing your best. But I think we get lost so much in our culture and in our social pressure to be excellent all the time and to be always striving and pursuing something. And we don't take into account how exhausting that is, how tiring that is, and how that may not be meeting our needs the way we need them to. And when we think about creating these lives that, you hear this, and I have this on my website too. So I've used this terminology of like creating a life on your own terms. What does that actually mean? That does mean going against the grain sometimes. That does mean checking the things that you idolize and that you deem as valuable and asking yourself, is this actually valuable to me, or is this valuable to the people around me and I'm pursuing it so that they think that I'm valuable now? Or am I just doing something that I saw on TV, or am I caught up in this sort of culture and world that I think will fulfill me and think will give me all the things that I, am lacking and missing, and I'll finally feel worthy and I'll finally feel special, when in reality, and we've heard this over and over, from people who've made it, people who are billionaires and millionaires and people who have reached their dreams, they tell us over and over again, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It's great. It's wonderful, but it didn't fulfill me in the way I thought it would. I still have depression. I still have anxiety. I still have worries and fears and doubts and all of these things. Like we all are under this illusion sometimes that this thing that we idolize so much and that we're striving for is going to change us, and it's going to completely eradicate the flaws, eradicate the bad feelings, eradicate the anger and the doubt and the inferiority complex and the worthlessness and the sorrow, but it doesn't. We know it doesn't. And I think when we start reconciling that and we start realizing what we actually need to be the beings that we were created to be, we start realizing we need a lot less than we pursue. Sometimes we just need that joy, and we can find that joy in the little things in our life. Sometimes we just need a little peace, and we can find that by sometimes removing the clutter, removing the noise, taking ourselves out of that space of chaos and striving and hustling and productivity and kingdom building. Like sometimes it is getting back to basics, and it really is slowing down, and it really is reflecting on how can I find those things, like the things that really fill me up and fulfill my spirit? How can I make that a success? How can I make that my priority? How can I make that the life that is on my terms? And that's just something I've been really contemplating lately, is like, I just want to be normal. I live in LA, and I used to live in all these different places, like K-Town and Echo Park and then North Hollywood, and they never quite felt like home to me. I never felt like LA was my home. And then I moved to Mid-City, and for the first time I feel like this is my home. Like this is a place where I can really see myself long term, because it's a bunch of normal people in this area. Like they're just they're professionals, people just have professional jobs, people who have blue collar jobs. I see them, going to work. I see them spending time with their family. I go on runs, and I see just little black girls playing on the sidewalk. And I didn't see that all over the place. Like I didn't see that in all the other neighborhoods, because LA is very segregated. So that's a whole other story. But it's a beautiful thing just to see people being normal, just seeing people playing outside, just seeing people going to work, just seeing people, talking to each other in the street, just seeing people just take it day by day, and not necessarily seeing people all the time who are striving and needing to be working all the time and needing to take over the world. It's like, that's beautiful. And there's nothing wrong with ambition. There's nothing wrong with having goals and dreams. That's not what I'm saying. All that I'm saying is, I think that if you're someone who is exhausted and burned out and kind of questioning why your wants aren't meeting your needs, or trying to figure out what your needs actually are, understand that it's okay to be normal. It's okay to, have different priorities than the people around you. It's okay to have different dreams as you move on and grow in life. It's okay to shift in what you want. It's okay to explore other parts of yourself. It's okay to have just a different vision for your life and to pursue that. And if it's not to this level that you believe that you were supposed to meet, or it's not not to this place that you've been conditioned to strive for, understand that that's okay. It's okay to just live a normal life. And I can't give you the definition of normal because it's so stigmatized. It's even hard to just say normal without people being like, normal's mediocre. Mediocrity and normal are not, they're not the same. So we need to unpair those two things. And mediocrity, even like, what is that? Like, no, we don't care about mediocrity. Like, mediocrity is a weird word to me anyway, and it's like a very strange judgmental thing. But normal, just being you, just being you, just being you, and just figuring out the life you want to live, and allowing that to bring you peace and joy, and allowing that to take as little time or as much time as it needs to, and allowing yourself the space and the grace to grow and evolve and to sort of uncondition some of the things that have been locking you up and keeping you chained and keeping you bound to cycles and systems that do not serve you as an individual, that may be serving other people or maybe serving society as a large. Like, it's okay to build a business that's different. It's okay to make music or art that's different. It's okay to find a home that's different. It's okay to find friendships, a smaller circle. You know, you have a ton of friends, but no one gets you. And maybe it's like one or two people that really get you. It's okay to start looking through your friend groups and seeing who stays and who goes. It's okay to, want to walk to work and just live go to work, check in, do your best, go home, make dinner, hang out with someone, and that's your life. Like, it's okay to have and to pursue normalcy and to pursue the little things in life and to pursue what really brings you joy and peace, and for that to look different than what it does to everyone else. So that is what's been on my heart. That's sort of where I am in my life right now. And it's been interesting seeing how when I truly do sort of let some of this stuff go and surrender some of these things that I've just held on so tight to that I don't even really know why anymore, how much more peace I have and how much more joy I have and how much more like appreciation I have in the little things in my life, and how much appreciation I have for just being alive and being here and having my health and having my wits about me and being able to talk to you and to sort of go through this journey called life together, and to maybe speak to something you're going through and speak to some of your fears while also speaking to myself and talking through and sifting through things in my own life, and understanding that it's a journey, and it's your journey. It's a unique journey. It's my journey. It's okay. It's okay to pursue normal. And in that pursuit of normal, your happiness might be there. Your joy might be there. Your peace might be living there. And I've come to find that it is. It truly is nice not having to strive so much, not having to be this multi-million have multi-million followers, and to it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to have your business if you want your business to be all offline. You want to just hand out flyers. It's okay if you just want to have an Etsy shop and it doesn't do anything, but it's just a place where you can have an outlet. It's okay to just create art for the sake of creating art, and nothing has to happen to it. It doesn't have to sell. It doesn't have to be promoted. It just is for you and you alone, or you and your close friends, or you and your family, or you and your small community, or whatever. It's okay to live down here. It's okay to live down here. You don't always have to be up here. It's okay to live down here. And I think the more we kind of accept where we are and live down here, the more we can express and the more we can rise naturally and grow naturally. And by the time we look around, we're like, oh, wow, I made it. But I also still have my character, and I also still understand that like I was appreciative way back there. So I can just be appreciative on another level that I'm alive and that I'm healthy and that I'm have my wits about me, and I wasn't expecting this new level to change me or to bring me validation or to bring me anything that I don't already have. So it's okay to be normal. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Let's start destigmatizing normalcy and not being special, and just living in our unique beauty and our beautiful who we are. Like, we are special. We don't have to strive to be special. We're just lovely humans, and it's okay to be a lovely human, doing your thing. So that's what I wanted to come on to today. I filmed at night tonight, so the lighting's all weird, and we're just gonna go with it, whatever. But I hope that you took something from this message, and if you're going through a similar journey or figuring out what your needs are, or figuring out what your life wants, what you want your life to look like and what you want to pursue, and you want to do things differently, drop a comment. Let me know. Like, I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you're going through right now, what you're thinking about, you know, how you're crafting your life, how you're crafting, you know, your journey. How is life sort of taking you in different directions and sort of pivoting you. And yeah, until next time, you are good soil. I love you. You are doing just fine. Keep going. Keep your chin up. Keep growing. Keep learning to love yourself and learning to love others and practicing being you. Yeah, you're good soil, man and lady. Whoever's watching this, you're good soil. All right, love you. Bye. Thank you for watching another episode of Good Soil. If you liked this video, be sure to share it with friends and family because we could all use a little reminding that we are good soil. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.